You're with Pro Football's match of the day out here at the Western Oval. Footscray and North Melbourne. North Melbourne leading after the first quarter, 3-7-25. Footscray 1-2-8. A woeful first quarter, really up forward for North Melbourne, kicking those 7 behinds. But with me is Greg Gill. And Greg, this coverage going right round Australia. Special hello to our friends in Darwin and Bordertown. And those people in Bordertown, they won't know who to barrack for in the state game on Tuesday night. South Australia and Victoria.
Yeah, it's a big chance. And the ball just been bounced up. Purser trying hard to scoot the ball out there. Picked up, kicked down towards the centre. Everyone flying up. Jimmy Cracker trying to get him. A fairly handball's out now. Picked up.
Dwyer it is.
Dwyer bounces the ball. Has a shot for goal. Is there anyone down there? Oh, no. It's a shocking kick again. Ball overrun. Segler trying his hardest to push the ball through, and it's gone over the line for 1 point. So a very quick score to North Melbourne. A minor task, 3 goals, 8-26. Footscray, 1 goal to 8 points. And don't drink too much while you're watching the game in those pubs, boys.
Yeah, remember, you've got to get home.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
There's a massive players on the Wallace tackling the umpire. He's got Spargo on top of him. The umpire will come in. That's umpire Howe. Clear the bodies away. He's going to throw the ball up. He signals to the ruckman. Purser, I thought, has been Footscray's outstanding player in the first half. John Law, vice-captain of North Melbourne, taps it out to Brad Hardy. Hardy forced to kick almost over his shoulder. Kicks it high, ball taken away there. It's Donald McDonald ridden to the ground by Steve McPherson. There's Phil Malin in there playing his first game for the season. 35, Darren Baxter. Ball will be thrown in half-forward flank for North Melbourne, outer side of the ground. Quite a mild day out here at the Western Oval. The breeze, if anything, favouring Footscray this quarter, blowing down from the Geelong Road end down to the Barclay Street end. And it's Malin who kicks the ball out, looks for Royal. Royal unloaded over the boundary line. The umpire says there'll be a throw-in, no infringement.
He found his benefit. He found his trouble there. Glenn Dinning was right down on top of him then as the ball now is to be thrown in by the boundary umpire. Players are setting themselves. We've got McDonald going up against Purser. Tapped down by Purser. Royal trying to pick the ball up, but laying all over the top, and the umpire says you better give it back to me.
Right in front of the Footscray coach's box, over on that far side of the ground, Mickey Malthouse. The boys all standing there watching the action right underneath them. The ball thrown up. Purser gets the tap down. He's got virtually every tap, and Rod McPherson runs the ball over the boundary line. And there you can see Mickey Malthouse up there in the front row, looking down. Wayne Walsh alongside him, and all the brains trust there watching the action as Purser palms the ball down, and he will take a free kick. The umpire says he was being held when he attempted to knock the ball down. A good-looking build of a ruckman. It's a huge torpedo. Looking for Beasley. Beasley at the back of the pack comes out with the ball. Rance down there. Glenn Ginning's kick smothered. It's Steve McPherson who's kicked the only goal. Offline that time. Through for behind. Footscray, they move to 1-3-9. They trail North Melbourne by 17 points. And we're waiting for Steve McCann. McCann, dream start to league football coming into the 1977 grand final sides. Played in both the draw and the replay. A premiership after only 4 games. It's Purser. Handballs it out. Donald McDonald, the arm up there by McPherson. And a free kick right down here. The half-back line.
By Norman. And Norman's going to go back and take that kick.
John Law.
John Law. Norman was involved. Sorry. John Law takes a big kick now, driving it down past to the wing position towards the centre. It's a skipped up off the pack now and kicked back into. Is anybody waiting there? Bambler trying hard to fly for a mark. No one can take the ball. It's cleared now by Purser. Purser, the ball's gone over to a North Melbourne player in McDonald. McDonald now trying hard to handball back into the play. Picked up again. Picked up by Hickey. Hickey trying hard to clear the ball. Picked up by Cracker and running through. It's a big kick down to the centre half-forward position. They fly for the mark. Nobody can take the kick.
Oh, Atkins couldn't quite grab him. The umpire has found a free kick.
Yes.
Go to Graham Atkins.
Well, he was diving in for that ball.
Out.
Yeah, he should be able to put this through. It's a pretty easy kick. Somebody looks a bit hurt there off camera. You can't quite see. It's a Footscray player in the hands of the trainer. He looks very sore too. Taking the kick now as he centres it up. Umpire's moved off to one side and it's through for 1 point.
Kicking practice for North Melbourne next week. They've kicked 3 goals, 9. 27. They lead Footscray. They should be leading Footscray by 6 or 7 goals at the moment. Kennedy puts the ball back in, straight down the ground. Not a particularly good kick. 2 North Melbourne players. It's Atkins again, gets the hand pass across. Oh, German, he's spoiled by Phil Cracker. Lines up, Peter German. And Kennedy right on the goal line. He'll take the mark. The clearing kick he was looking for to Malin.
Absolutely no pressure applied then whatsoever.
No, and he gets the pass out there, and it's straight out there to Darren Saunders.
We've got a bad injury while the game is going. There's a Footscray player being carried off the ground. We'll just try and pick it up and see who it is.
Well, I'll follow the ball down here as Brad Hardy picks the ball up, swings it back into play, and there'll be a throw in right under that coach's box on that outer wing. And we just go in here and see if we can pick out that player. I think it might be Baxter, number 26, Peter Baxter, being carried off, which is very bad luck for him because he was just beginning to figure prominently in the game. Coming on to replace him is Craig Somerville, making his debut for Footscray, a young kid who's fought his way up through the under-19s into the seniors in just 7 games.
Well, it was good to see that. Meanwhile, the ball is carried on now down, picked up by Glenn Denning. He goes back and is looking for someone to handball it to. The kick is now taken down to the full forward position. Oh, almost a one-hander taken by McDonald. Segler trying hard to scoop the ball out. Oh, Kennedy, he's a tough, tenacious player. And he picks up a free kick for his trouble too. So the kick now taken by McPherson, driving down to the flank position. Oh, intercepted beautifully by Glenn Denning. How good is this guy? Jonas
it was. Very similar haircut.
Yes, that's exactly what I was looking at. Oh, there's stacks on the mill there. I don't think that the umpire's going to be able to pick any free kicks out of that. Like, yes, they do look alike. I didn't pick the number. I just looked at the haircut.
Brad Hardy working very hard down there. The umpire, Howe, puts the ball down. Segler against Purser. Dead heat, that one. The umpire says there was an infringement. And we'll go to Purser. Purser challenging Glenn Denning as the best man on the ground at the moment. The pass is out here. He's going to kick it out to Peter Foster. In fact, he goes over Foster's head to McPherson. McPherson back to Foster. Foster on his left foot. A beautiful long kick. Ackley under it. Backed up well by Dwyer. Gets rid of the ball. Hand passes back to Ackley. Good play. Ackley's kick finds Arsiri. He's off like a rocket. Over to Phil Cracker. This is good play, North Melbourne. Now can we finish it off? Hardy. A beautiful mark there by Jim Cracker. Phil to Jim. The radar works.
Lovely chip in too.
Beautiful play. This guy's having a terrific game. Jim Cracker, about 40 metres out, kicking into a slight breeze. Just having a casual look around, looking for a pass, and there it is. German, hand pass to Arsiri. His second goal perhaps, or is it offline? 1 point only. 3-10.
That really wasn't necessary. I thought they overdid it then. Perhaps they were trying to open the play up a bit on their forward line, but I didn't see the point in that. I thought that Cracker could have gone back and had a big kick for that. There was plenty down there to take the mark.
Kennedy kicks out. He kicks wide. Big flyers. It's McDonald who punches it away. And that piece of play by Cracker, the way he cut in front of his Footscray opponent and took the mark, was just sheer magic.
Well, they're dangerous when they're down the forward line together, the two Cracker brothers, and so they deserve it too. Purser again looking for the tap out. The umpire's found a free kick, and this time he's found it in... is it going to Hardy? No, it's going to be picked up here and taken by Purser again. This is the second time. He's getting quite a few kicks in the tap outs. It's kicked down now. Oh, Glenn Denning again taking a lovely mark over the back. A real vice-captain's game, or acting captain today. Decides to play on, shoots the ball down to the centre half forward position. The players fly for the ball. It's over the back, and Cracker brother again is in there. Jimmy Cracker then handballs over.
Hit the post.
Not again.
Germans hit the post.
German, I was having a look at that, and we've got a post right in line here. So.
Well, I'll just fill you in on that one because that's the second time in a matter of minutes that Jimmy Cracker's found Peter German, once with a foot pass, once with a hand pass, and German on both occasions hasn't really finished it off all that well. The pass, here we go, North Melbourne back into attack. I can't believe that they're only leading by 19 points because they've had all the play. It's Phil Cracker looking for brother Jimmy. He'll let it hit the ground, falls over, holding the man surely. That's the way the umpire sees it. Umpire Howe has given the free kick to Jimmy Cracker, and when these two boys work in tandem, they're very, very hard to beat indeed.
Yes, and that was a fairly obvious free kick too. I mean, he had
the way he went to the ground, knocked the ball on, and then it was only a matter of time till someone grabbed him.
Well, I think Jimmy should make up for this time. He's had another pass again. Has he found anybody?
He has indeed.
Yes, he has in Fairley. Fairley's taken the mark, but it's bringing back on a tighter angle. I would have had a shot. Fairley now, looks to place the kick, and who's he found now?
Now this is German again.
German again. So German's going to make up for his last attempt.
Last two attempts, really.
Well, yes.
He's had plenty of chances. German, he's a matter of 35 metres out. That's a better looking kick. That's straight through the middle. Goal number 4. And North Melbourne move to 4-11-35. Footscray 1-3-9. And a nice bit of play, and at last North Melbourne kicking straight 10 minutes into the second quarter.
Yes, that was a rather easy sort of goal. Footscray just not applying any pressure at all down on the back line. It's also interesting to see that North Melbourne at this stage have had 15 shots for goal, has 4 shots for Footscray, and it to me appears to be a backline game for North Melbourne. Their backline is very tight, and yet Footscray, I can't see them doing much in the way of attacking. Anyway, back in the centre of the ground now. The ball's up in the air, and Purser's a lovely tap out, but it's quickly slipped up and kicked down to the centre half forward position. Phil Cracker underneath it. Can he get it? No, he's outmarked. And that's taken by Saunders. Saunders now goes back to take a kick, looking for Brad Hardy. He takes a solid mark on his chest. Elects to play on. Kicking it out past the centre of the ground into the diamond. Players set themselves. Oh, Purser again. How many kicks has he had today? It's been in everything. Champion player. Oh, and there's a jostle for a mark. You'd have to look to playing that. The umpire said play on. Very unfair. Now he'll have to pull it up. I thought that was unfair. It was a man in front. He played the ball. Umpire House says no, I'll have it. And now he takes the ball.
Well, I think the only thing keeping Footscray in this game at the moment is the ruck play of Andrew Purser. And this man here, Glenn Dinning, has just been the perfect general across the half-back line. Their half-back line's been virtually impenetrable. And that's a very, very silly handball. Almost a hospital one, that one. And Atkins comes out with a free kick. Very fortunate to get out of that mess. Atkins. Nice looking drop punt. 3 North Melbourne players fighting each other for the ball. Fairley taps the ball up in the air. It'll be a free kick, and it will go Footscray's way, to be taken that time by Darren Saunders, I think.
Yeah, Saunders.
Punched down by McDonald. That half-back line, very hard to get past today. And this man's playing a great game. Ackley gets the ball out. He's ridden to the ground. Play on, says the umpire. The advantage rule coming in. Hardy's got the ball out there to McGuinness. McGuinness gets rid of it backwards, over to Royal. Doesn't know what to do. Screws it around, looks for Beasley. Over the top, through for a behind.
Well, it's easy to say that Beasley's been out of the game today because the ball hasn't been down on their forward line much today. And I noticed they've got McCann is playing a very tight game trying to pull him up. McCann... very reliable, as Steve was saying before. He's played many premiership games. He knows what it's all about. And he's had a little short pass to McDonald. He's been brought down from the forward line. Donald elects to play on. A big kick over to the centre wing position. The Cracker brothers underneath, but Dwyer takes a lovely mark. And back to take his kick. Decides to play on. He's looking for anyone down there. Who's he got down here? Is Ross Glendinning? No, but it's over the line and touched. So it'll be in for a throw-in on the centre wing position in front of the grandstand here at the Western Oval. This game has been brought to you by Pro Football. Don't forget, if ever you want to support your club, you can get your tapes after the game or next week's game. You can order them. Just see your local hotel or local club and they can organise it for you.
OK, this free kick is going to Dougie Hawkins. Hawkins, one of the skilled players in the Footscray side. He's up there looking for Bamblett. North away again. Bad hand pass. Royal comes round on his left foot. Looks for the pass. Not a particularly good one. Ridden to the ground then is Rance, having his work cut out against Glendinning now. It's McGuinness, the South Australian Magarey medalist. He's caught, finally gets his boot to the ball. And Steve McPherson too far out to score, one would imagine. He's gone for the kick. It's fading just offline, through for a behind. 1-2 to McPherson of Footscray's 1-5. They trail by 24 points. North Melbourne should be 8 goals ahead, I should think, instead of the merest of 4.
Yes, absolutely. We're just coming up to the 14-minute mark. It's not what you call a high-scoring game today, considering the condition of the ground, and it's not windy.
And the wind's going straight up the middle of the ground, if anything. So
well, we've got a mark here. We just picked that have been taken by Donald McDonald, who's playing a backman's game. He started off on the forward line, the full forward position, the centre forward position. Anyway, there's a strong mark being taken there. I'm going to pick that up. Too sure whether that was Baxter.
That's Spargo now.
Spargo now has got the ball, so we can get on with this. And North Melbourne are pretty happy to sort of see. Oh, there's a chip pass all on his own, unattended. How often have we seen this happen today? He picks up the ball now and driving it down to the centre half forward position. The ball is in the air. The players set themselves.
Yes, there was an infringement there before.
Yes, the man in front had to be paid too. He's a little bit of a push in the back. Elects to play on. Dwyer trying hard on his own. Got a chance to pick it up. Has to dodge around. Can't quite do it. Footscray really tackling hard now.
That's good play there by
Yes.
Hawkins. Gets it across to Wallace. Wallace on his wrong foot, swings it in towards the centre of the ground. Poor play then, but finally it's Royal with the ball. He's ridden to the ground. The umpire says play on. It's Jonas back towards the centre of the ground, back to Norman. Kicks it out wide, looking for Atkins, who's nice and quick when he wants to be, and pretty slippery. Atkins runs around his opponent. Good play. Lines up, looking for Segler. He's behind. Jimmy Cracker fires at goal right across the front. And the ball bounces just inside. And there'll be a throw in about 1.5 metres, 2 metres around from the North Melbourne behind post. We've been playing 15 minutes in this second quarter in pro football's match of the day at the Western Oval. It's Segler who takes the ball out of the air. The umpire says he's dropped it.
And as you can see, he never even had hold of the ball. He was pulled down to the ground. And the umpires decided that Kennedy had applied enough pressure for him.
Oh, that's woeful play,
Hand passed
Kennedy.
over to Hardy. Hardy now getting that ball. Oh, that's a shocking. Yeah, what's happened to the kicking today? I
Well,
really
you'd
have
think-
never seen it so bad.
You would think that Kennedy, with the aid of the breeze, would boot the ball right down the centre instead of that little hand pass over to Brad Hardy and the long way home, because it's the biggest ground in league football.
And as you can see, it served no purpose, but Purser, probably their best player for Footscray today, is trying his hardest to get the ball, but there you are. We're going to be a free kick. We'll be going to Saunders, who will go back and take his kick for being held when not in possession. Saunders now, umpire bringing him back 15 metres for interference and wasting time. Dropping the ball down into the forward flank position. The players set themselves. It's picked up by Bamblett off the pack. Kicked over to the top. Players running through. Can't get their hands to it. North Melbourne player there.
Has to be in the back.
Yes, I would have thought so.
Ackley to take the
yes,
free kick.
Ackley. Very similar looking guy to Ramsey too. Dwyer now takes the ball from the hand pass. Left foot kick. Can't quite pick it up. Malin trying his hardest there to do something with it, but the umpire says, no, look, I'll have it. So we're currently now sitting at the 16.5-minute mark of the second quarter. Very low scoring game, and I don't think I'll be speaking out of turn if I said the standard football hasn't been that high at all, Steve.
Well, for a team that finished third last year, Footscray is showing none of that class. And North Melbourne, a finalist. This could have been the match of the day last year. And really, Footscray have been abysmal today. They've kicked a 1-goal 5 in a quarter and a half. It's Brad Hardy, one of the few good performers, who taps the ball forward.
Yes, there's
The
only
umpire
4 or 5
comes in.
consistent players today playing for Footscray.
Found a free kick too. And the umpire says play on. Advantage rule straight into effect. The umpire, however, will pull it back. He said there's been an incident back down the field. Flatten is one of the Footscray players, and who will come out with the free kick. He's pulling the ball back, umpire Rich, right there on the left-hand side of your picture. Getting the tap from the trainer was Matthew Hanbury. The ball right back there on that outer wing, and that's Phil Malin, the former Carlton Premiership player. Malin from South Australia originally, drives the ball in looking for Beasley, who's hardly had a sniff. Dropping the ball, the umpire lets play go on, and will bounce centre half forward.
Very interesting call that. I don't think Spargo could have gotten rid of the ball at all. He'd been caught cold. It did appear that way, but there's no way Noni had a chance to get rid of it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but has last year's Norm Smith medalist Simon Beasley had one kick yet?
I don't think I have seen it, no. And in fact, it's not even looking like getting one. The ball has... anyway, well, we'll get back to that in a second. You've got McCann again doing his best to drive the ball out there through Arciri. Arciri now driving it down to the wing position. It's been tapped on. Players left, right and centre here trying to get hold of the ball. Very scrambly play. Purser again, as usual. Handball's out of trouble. Oh, a head-on match there. And a mark, and a safe mark taken by Royal. Hopefully he can find someone to kick it to. Yes, he's looking for Brad Hardy, uncontested. And that was very unnecessary, Glendinning, although I think it's a bit of a Academy Award there, Stuff.
Yeah, I think there was a bit more. I think there was a bit more Gregory Peck than
Yes.
Johnny Famishon in that one.
Well, that's what you get, you see, for being a Brownlow medalist.
An unusual little piece of footy trivia there, with the 2 West Australian Brownlow medalists, both wearing number 4.
That is good trivia.
Brad Hardy and Ross Glendinning.
A couple of champion players. I think any Western Australian would be very proud to know that they're from there.
Well, let's have a look at Brad Hardy. He's played a pretty reasonable game today with another West Australian, Andrew Purser. The reigning Brownlow medalist, Brad Hardy, comes in. He's kicked straight through the middle, and that cuts the gap just that little bit more. 18 points the margin now as Footscray move to 2 goals 5, 17 behinds, trailing North Melbourne 4-11, 35 on the Pro Football scoreboard.
Yes, well, that was quite interesting. Brad Hardy was left uncontested then as he took a fairly easy mark. It remains to be seen now exactly what's going to happen. You've got North Melbourne really having most of the play today, and yet, as you can see, there's really only two or three goals the difference, 18 points the difference. You wouldn't have thought so. Straight kicking. Oh, there's a free kick there has been found as Segler is to take the kick from the centre bounce. Segler now driving the ball down is an awkward kicking position.
Jonas.
Strong mark taken by Jonas. Jonas being jostled, but the umpire says no 15-metre penalty. Looks for a pass and he finds Jimmy Cracker.
No, that's Phil.
Beg your pardon, Phil. Sorry, Phil.
Well,
Right.
Phil won't make the distance there, one wouldn't imagine. He's looking everywhere for a pass. He's looking for Jimmy. That's a big, high torpedo. And didn't make the distance, but there's a mark down there in the square. The umpire, however, says no.
Well, I thought that
Too many
McDonald
hands
looked like
on
he
it.
might have got his hands to that, but...
Now, this would be a good piece of defensive ruck play here, I would think, by Purser, who will belt it straight through the middle. McDonald picks it up off the side, one behind. 4-12, 36 the score. McDonald has kicked 3 behinds, and that margin is now 19 points. We're at the 22-minute mark of the second quarter, and the Footscray captain, Rick Kennedy, is in a bit of a quandary. He's persevering with the short pass and paying the penalty. The umpire, however, says there will be a free kick.
He had to look for Purser. There wasn't too many other players there that looked settled to be able to take a strong mark, and they've got to get that ball down to their goal-to-goal line. Royal trying very difficult there.
Schoolboy stuff, that.
Yeah, very much.
We've got the North Melbourne coach, John Kennedy, in the box right alongside us, and he was furious. He's been not a very happy man so far in this match. John Law underneath that, tries for the one-hander. The hand pass across from Spargo. Roscoe Glendinning, ever so easy. Decides on the bounce. He'll get good support from Steele. Goes wide. He's looking for one of the Cracker boys. It's Jimmy. Donald McDonald there. The hand pass out, this time to Norman, who's a talented player, the former Queenslander. Swings it around on his right boot. Over the top. Not a particularly good pass. An air kick. Had one of those last week at Kingston Heath. The ball on the ground. The umpire coming in and will bounce.
Yeah, well, that interesting bit of football here. I find it amazing. The standard today is not what you'd expect from two clubs such as this, and it was also the other point you made about Kennedy. I'm just listening to him now bellowing away. He's not happy with the way North Melbourne are playing at all.
Oh, especially that with Andrew Purser going up uncontested.
Yes.
Malin just lets go of the ball. It rolls over the boundary line. There's Phil Malin on the
Interesting
ground.
to see what they do to contest Purser. They're going to have to stop him. I mean, although Footscray are not getting any connection with the ball, they certainly are getting first touch of it. And
well, Fairley now will watch the ball go out. But you watch this next ruck duel. We'll watch Andrew Purser go up. He'll probably contest against Peter Jonas, who's giving away about 3 or 4 inches. And Jonas has also given away 3 or 4 free kicks. Tim Jepp cutting Jonas out. And that could almost have been a Shepherd. But he's far too talented. It's Royal who gets the hand pass out to Malin. Malin's fairly well protected. Then as he swings it around on his left foot, Segler down there. He can't do anything. Bambler. Lell swings it back looking for McGuinness. McGuinness underneath it, takes the great mark. The hand pass over to Simon Beasley. Beasley runs into an open goal. First kick, first goal. And Footscray moved to 3-5, 23. They trail North Melbourne 4-12, 36.
well, there you have it. There's Simon Beasley's first kick, although I wouldn't say that was Simon Beasley's goal in the true sense. That was started from Bamblett, snapping it off the pack here from a mark that was set up.
Oh, and a beautiful mark down there. When we look at McGuinness take that mark again, the way he used his body, got underneath the ball and then swung the hand pass over to Beasley, and Beasley just added the cream to the cake.
McCann was committed to come down the ground, leaving Beasley on his own, but there you have it. There's a first kick for Simon Beasley for the day, and there's the first kick he's had as a goal. That's the job of full forwards in 1 out of 1 so far.
Nothing in this game, 13 points the difference. North Melbourne should have had it sewn up 10 minutes ago. They're 4-12 on the Pro Football scoreboard. Footscray 3-5. The ball back down again. Wallace going through, can't quite get to it. The umpire will come in and bounce again. A bit gluey in the middle there in the central pitch area. Umpire Howe waiting until the players sort themselves out. Trying to spread things out a little. Having a chat to a couple of the players. Donald McDonald going in. Purser, beautiful tap over the back to Hawkins. Swings it round on his left foot. He's a beautiful player, Dougie Hawkins, when he gets going. McGuinness again. Magic play from the Magarey medalist. Goes wide, looking for Beasley. Beasley in the front position. Oh, good play then by McCann. Over the top. A punch away. Atkins comes through. Goes wide out towards the wing position. Jonas bustled out of the way. He'll recover well. Jep looked as though he had hold of him by the foot. Recovers well. Gets the kick around. Not a good kick. Hand pass then by Stephen Hickey. Atkins coming right into the game in this quarter. Purser, one of the best on the ground. Unloaded then by Jonas. Could have been a push in the back. Holding the man decision, and that's the way it'll be. Dougie Hawkins back towards the centre of the ground. Not a good kick, Doug. Not the sort of thing we'd expect from a state wingman. Push in the back, free kick go North Melbourne's way. Looks like Norman.
McPherson put under a lot of pressure then, and he couldn't get rid of the ball. The ball now played on down to the centre position there, and a safe mark there taken. Handball played on. Picked up, left foot kick. No one out there. It's a paddock. We've got anybody's chance here to get to the ball. They're all rushing to it. McCann is coming out to tackle. Oh, McCann playing a very solid backman's game. Unsettled them nicely then. That ball will go over the line and out of bounds.
That interception then against Ackley's hand pass is one of the rare times you see Ackley just fade under pressure, but usually he's hand passing in the back line.
All credit due to McCann coming down from the back line then to break that up. There's Royal having a shot. Oh, look at that. He's having a shot down to the centre half forward position. He's out of line, over the line and out of bounds on the full. Very rare that you see this. That's the third time that I've seen Royal kick out of bounds on the full today, which is rather unusual for Rover.
There are some of the people. They could be from Bordertown there in the front row. So if you're watching the game, there's a bit of a fight on behind play. Jimmy Cracker shaping up, and he's got a little bit of fire in him, Jimmy, and he's just having a word or two to Darren Baxter. And the umpire coming in to sort things out. North Melbourne runner going in. I think North Melbourne are only too aware of the fact that this man, Jimmy Cracker, is the ticket, their passport, maybe to a finals berth. John Law and McPherson. The umpire coming in again. That's umpire Howe. Try to cool down some hot heads. I don't think there was anything in either of those incidents. Just a bit of boys will be boys. Down again. I don't think that North Melbourne are being rattled as Malin swings the ball forward. Bamblett has the ball off. It's Ackley. Punches towards the boundary line. Could well have been intentional, but too far away, and the umpire says, no, we'll throw it in. I think if he had been 5 yards closer, it might have been a free kick.
I was going to say, he mightn't have got away with it had it been closer to the goal line, but nonetheless, the umpire now throws the ball in. Up in the ruck, the ball is punched down, will go over the line and out of bounds again. Well, we're running into the 27-minute mark of the second quarter with the scores, Footscray 23 points, trailing North Melbourne 36. As they go up in the ruck again, it goes over the line again. This is hardly what you call an exciting piece of football right now, Steve, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit of defensive play there by the North Melbourne side, because they realise there's only a minute or so to go in this quarter.
So the ball being attacked now, players everywhere. That's picked up and played down the line by Wallace. Wallace driving the kick down to the centre there. Hickey couldn't quite take the mark. Was Hickey, was it?
That's Wallace going in there now. Other side. He gets a hand pass out to Hawkins. Hawkins back to McPherson. McPherson under plenty of pressure. Awful football. Footscray back into attack. And it's Wallace again. The hand pass out here. And this is the chance now for Footscray to go right into attack.
Royal.
I don't know if that was Royal out there. I think that might have been Darren Saunders. Running back, and there's a bit of a dust on back there on the wing position. Phil and Jimmy Cracker. The umpire's book has come out. There has been a player reported. I would gather from the situation that it may well be Phil Cracker. And Jimmy Cracker's in there being placated by Jonas.
Well,
Doug Hawkins is also being informed that a report has been made.
It's interesting that he took Phil Cracker's number when Jimmy was the one originally involved in an incident just 5 minutes earlier.
Could be a bit of brotherly love there. But
the book's going back in.
Certainly warming up here a little. 12 points of difference. Footscray coming back into the game in this quarter when they look down and out. The ball with Ackley at full back. Purser underneath it. Just a little too far underneath it. It's Royal that time. The hand pass out. Hawkins handball intercepted then. Jimmy Cracker with the ball. The umpire will come in and put the ball down for a bounce. 29 minutes gone in the second quarter. Pro football's match of the day out here at the Western Oval between Footscray and North. And the way things are looking, it could be a thrilling second half. No attempt to get rid of it. And my my humble opinion, that could well have gone against the Victorian wingman Doug Hawkins.
Yes, Dwyer was certainly placing the pressure, and then as the umpire throws the ball up in the air, Purser once again gets the tap out. That's the ball's a bit scrambling. It's been no, the umpire's found a free kick.
Hawkins again will take the ball.
And he's going to go back now. What's he going to do with it? There's nobody to kick it to. He's looking for someone. He's taking a big kick over to the centre half forward position. Hardy underneath. Beasley pushed in the back as the siren goes for the end of the second quarter here at half-time at the Western Oval. Pro football game today between Footscray and North Melbourne. Footscray 3 goals, 6 24 points, trailing North Melbourne 4 goals, 12 36.